Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay, and on this channel we cover all things beauty and a whole lot of fragrance content. And today I'm a little nervous because we're talking about fragrances I just don't like. I wouldn't say I hate and despise every one of these scents, but I definitely do not like them. They're not my favorites. When I put them on, I feel like either I stink or just very out of place, like they're not my type of scent, which is absolutely fine. So I hope that even if I'm talking about a scent you really like, we can remain respectful in the comments. Of course, if you like something I dislike, we can talk about it. I love that type of discussion in the comments. I think it's very effective, but hopefully there's no mean words down below. Anyways, I want to start with Starlight Vanilla, which this is a combination of lavender, vanilla, almond milk, amber, and silk, and to me this is anything but silky. It is not a silky, smooth, well-blended vanilla fragrance in my opinion. I think there's way better lavender vanilla combinations. For me, this is very screechy. It is not well-rounded. It's not smooth in the slightest. It's a very powdery, floral, super mature fragrance, and I just think it feels a little all over the place. I cannot get this to work for me. Every time I put it on, it feels like a scrubber. So this is just not my favorite. Again, I feel so bad right now. I think you can see it all over my face because I know a lot of people like this, but to me, I mean, it's very perfumey from this vanilla collection, but it really was like my least favorite. Again, it's just very scratchy, and that might have to do with the almond milk note making it more bittersweet than aromatic and comforting. So for me, this one unfortunately is a pass. Next is Yara from Lattafa, and funny thing, I picked this up to talk about and I dropped it and it knocked my fragrances over, so it's almost like it's retaliating against me because it knows it's not my favorite. I'm just kidding, I'm super clumsy and that's the end of that. But this, I want to put this one on skin because I keep going back and forth on if I like this. Ultimately, I do not like this combination of patchouli with like caramel popcorn and white florals. It's really not my jam. In general, I really struggle with popcorn and floral together. That's why I do have issues sometimes with that one Lancome fragrance. But this is, I mean, it's nice, it's creamy and warm at the base, and I do enjoy that aspect of the fragrance, but ultimately, I don't love the way the peach is included, and it's way too much patchouli for my liking. And I don't hate patchouli. I love Vanilla Royale from Kaoli. I think that's beautifully done. I love fruit choulis, but I would say this is really more, it's really playing more on the caramel, on the white florals, and on the patchouli. So yeah, it's not super fruity to my nose, especially the longer I have the fragrance, and it's a little nauseating at times, so that is why for me, this is not my favorite. Something that does have a stronger peach presence with that warmth and the patchouli would be Bright Peach Eau de Parfum from Maison Alhambra, and this is of course inspired by Tom Ford Bitter Peach, and I've never put the two side by side. I don't have that perfume in my collection. This opens up very fruity, super warm. You have the peach and the blood orange mixed in with the green leaves, and the patchouli, I do get the more it dries down, giving it more of that earthy, dark, woody base, but you also have this boozy sweetness. There's honey and cognac, and I do get both. And for me personally, the reason it's not my favorite is because it reminds me of taking shots, honestly. It's that warm, party girl, night out type of fragrance in my opinion, which I do like, but I have to layer this with something different or it's entirely too boozy for me personally. If you do like warm, fruity, boozy scents, I think you'd like this, but beware, there is that patchouli and the leaves mixed in, so it's a more green take on a warm, boozy, fruity scent. And for that reason, it's not my favorite DNA. And again, it reminds me of nights out with my friends when we drink peach parmesan, which is absolutely disgusting, but it's cheaper, so we'd get it and we'd have fun, make memories, some bad decisions, and this is where that fragrance takes me back to. So again, if you do like boozy, fruity scents, you might really like this, especially if you don't hate patchouli. If you do hate patchouli, you might not like this fragrance. For me, again, it's really not a hate. I mean, I like it when I mix it with other scents, but if not, it does kind of make my tummy hurt and remind me of that sensation you get when you take a warm brown shot. And for me personally, that is just not necessarily what I'm about, especially on an everyday basis, and especially in the heat in Florida. It's so cloying for me. Next fragrance is from phlur. Please don't hate me. It is phlur Father Figure. This is a fragrance where, to me, it is very clean, musky, powdery. I do get that from the scent, and I would say on my skin it does pull way more masculine, and it's just not, it's not even something I'd want to smell on a man personally. So it's this soft, creamy fig fragrance, which sounds absolutely amazing, but then there's something very odd on my skin when I wear this fragrance. And the best way to put it is, I've seen some people say it smells like mulch, and I can get that a little bit maybe, but I would more so say I kind of get like a reptilian vibe from the scent, and I don't know if that makes sense, but that is just what I get when I smell this. I get something that's kind of green, odd, musky, but there is that nice clean musk. But personally for me, if I want something with that DNA, I would more so go for Glossier You or the new Amber Vanilla from the Seven Virtues, which is much more feminine. To me, this is just very odd, and every time I put it on my skin, the more I actually try to wear it, the more I dislike it. So I tried, I really have, but it's just not my type of fragrance, and if it smells amazing on you, I'm jealous. Next is Juliette Has a Gun Sunny Side Up, which is also a sandalwood, musky, woody fragrance. I would say the sandalwood in the phlur is more creamy and more smooth. This one is that dry, pencil shaving type of sandalwood. So if you like that, I think you'd really enjoy the scent, but I personally don't. I get lots of the ISO Super, I get this sandalwood, and I wish that I picked up the coconut in this fragrance like other people, but I don't. I will say it's kind of warm, and I do get what they're going for, but me personally, I just think that type of sandalwood that I get in the scent is not my favorite, unfortunately. And I've tried, once again, time and time again, to get it to work for me, and I mean, it never smells like terrible, but again, it's just a little too spicy for me. It's a little too dry, woody. I get the same vanilla that I do get in the Seven Virtues, Amber Vanilla. Next is Lune Feline from Atelier d'Ors, and that fragrance was very warm and spicy, especially in the opening. You have the pink pepper spice, cardamom, and cinnamon, and you get a blast of the cardamom and cinnamon. To my nose, those two notes were really detectable, and the cinnamon almost had like a cinnamon candy type of smell, which was really interesting, blended in and merged with that really aromatic, lovely cardamom note. I enjoyed that part of the fragrance so much, as well as the musk. The vanilla was not like this gourmand cakey vanilla at all. It was a very sophisticated, deeper, dry, woody type of vanilla. And then you also had that smoky facet, which I was just not the biggest fan of. So ultimately, I love the combination of the cardamom with the cinnamon and, you know, the musk, the warmth. But if I want something that does have that, but with a sweeter, more uplifting vanilla feel, and that's not smoky, I will go for for Altair from Parfums de Marly, which I think is an addictive fragrance. So, but again, if you like dark, sophisticated, woody, smoky vanilla scents, for example, YSL Baby Cat, not saying they're the same, but if you like a fragrance like that, that's not super sweet in the vanilla category, I think you'd really enjoy it because it did feel very sophisticated and a little bit more masculine leaning. I think it smelled incredible on a man, both of those two fragrances, and it's beautiful, but it's just not for me. And the last fragrance I don't love is Prada Paradoxe Intense. And Prada Paradoxe Intense to me did have more vanilla, so I really liked that part of the fragrance. It was almost like a honey sweet vanilla that I really got on board with, but then it was more earthy. It really had like this extra warmth to it, and ultimately with that smoky factor that I really couldn't stand, I did return it to the store. I mean, someone told me, 2 people, that I smelled like an ashtray, which was really not what you want to hear, okay? It did open up very similar to the original. It was floral and fruity and very warm. I did like it, but it just, on the dry down, those musky notes really smelled a little off for me, and the addition of the moss was not my favorite. So unfortunately that was a return. And even Prada Paradoxe, the more I have it in my collection, feels a bit more basic, and it's not something I love as much as I once did, but I still appreciate it in my collection and don't want to declutter. It's very rare that I declutter a fragrance. I mean, I barely do it because I do have an open mind. When it comes to perfumes, I try to get them to work for me, but that one, that smoky factor, it was not it. And I think a lot of you might try it and might not get that smokiness, but for me personally, like after they said it and I smelled it, I did, and it was very earthy and just not for me. So I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hate speaking negatively, but at the same time, I mean, if you guys do have similar fragrance taste to me, maybe I'm saving you from a blind buy going wrong. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the good things, and I will see you in the next one, besties. Bye!